Meta Madness Group B continues. Blackheart's Bay, the opening map between Team WoW and Scuff Team. I don't really think I've talked about Team WoW yet and why they renamed themselves from WoW to WoW. But I think in the lineup that they put on the website, they just put some O's into everybody's nickname, and it's obviously a slight variation. But yeah, we're here at Meta Madness once again, so we're still in Group B, and already we had a pretty impressive performance by the blue team. They definitely were trolling a little bit, but I mean, that's what Meta Madness is for, and as explained previously, the group stage is obviously not only a warm-up for the playoffs and for the real tournament, but at the same time also you're going to see a lot of top-level teams clash with the amateur teams that also signed up for the tournament, that want to have a chance to face off against some of the top players, but also to experience the whole Meta Madness format. And if you're not familiar with it, here's just a quick overview. So Meta Madness has special ban rules that are designed to make the games a bit more interesting, to force teams to think outside of the box. And we do that with two rules. We have pre-banned heroes, so these 10 heroes that you see here on the screen right now are banned for the entire group stage. For the playoffs, this is going to change. We're going to have more heroes banned out, so this is also why we're looking at the group stage as a warm-up. But these 10 heroes can't be played in the group stage at all. And in addition to that, every single hero that gets played within a series cannot be played again. So if you see a hero played in game number 1, he cannot be played again in the same series, and so on and so forth, which means obviously that when you're getting to map number 3, 4, 5, all of a sudden your hero pool is pretty limited. Now, with that being said, we already had crazy games. I mean, we had pretty much everything. We had Novas, Valeras, we had the Butcher, we had Asmodan. It was just glorious. Now, I fully expect that we're going to see every single hero, if we haven't already, in the group stage. It will be interesting to see, on the other hand, what's going to happen in the main event, because playoffs, that's where a lot of the trolling then all of a sudden stops. And here in the group stage, even the games with huge skill gaps between the teams have been pretty entertaining, because people are just having a lot of fun with the picks and with the format. But as the playoffs progress, it's going to be interesting to see what's happening there. As usual, also, big shout out to all the people that are supporting the channel, myself on Patreon. If you guys want to join the rank of supporters, patreon.com/Khaldor. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's a link in the description. This entire tournament would not be possible without the Patreon support. It's very difficult to get sponsors for Heroes of the Storm these days. It's pretty much impossible, honestly. And this would not happen, and the last tournaments that I casted will also not have happened without the Patreon supporters. So thanks to everybody that is already chipping in over there, and if you're interested to do the same, then definitely check it out. In total, we have 2,000 euros on the line as prize money. And, well, as we are seeing, we already have Murky. So, Murky and the Vikings. Now, as I explained previously, the blue team is a favorite for this group, but they're also one of the top 3 teams in the tournament itself. So there is a skill gap here. And they've been using that to have fun right from the beginning. Normally, game number 1 is the map where things are still a little bit more normal, but then as you progress throughout a match, things become crazy. With the blue team, right from the start, going into some crazy picks though, fun is guaranteed. Now, we had Murky already a few times. We had Murky with Abathar, we had Murky in a combo with Phoenix, Octograb, and the Planet Cracker. Vikings here in Blackheart's Bay should also be pretty interesting. And again, they forget to ban a hero. So yeah, a few more options for Scuff Team, I suppose. Who started things with Sylvanas, Sonya, and with Hanzo now. So this is actually an interesting match in the sense that this is very likely going to decide who's going to take first and second place within the tournament. Now, there's still a couple of things that could happen with the standings, but there's a good chance that this match at the end of the day is going to have a pretty big impact on the standings in the group. And since we have... oh my god... And then, since we have 4 groups with 4 teams each, it means that only the first 2 teams out of each group will advance. So yeah, that's the thing. But boy, oh boy, that is kind of nasty. The Chokal Murky Viking comp. Yeah, infamous. Like, you run into that quite a bit. We get a new Burak, so he gets a 2-for-1 out of the Cocoon, and we get Liming over here. But what is Masquerade going to play? Is it going to be another game where they're not playing with a healer? Now, keep in mind, they're actually... this is the second strongest group, likely, in the group. Scuff team has done very well in the previous matches that they played, and there's obviously a couple of familiar teams on the lineup too. Now they might not rise to the ranks of a top 4 team, but still, these guys know a little bit more what they're doing than previous amateur teams that a team, faced off against. Now we're at least getting a support this time, so we're getting actually a healer. So Oriel is in, played by Masquerade. They might still swap that around, or they just put Masquerade on Oriel duty after the Int Fiesta yesterday. I think actually he wasn't really the one that died the most, but yeah, either way. Blackheart's Bay, game number 1, best of 5 series here at Meta Madness, Group B. Let's go, everybody. We got Team Woe against the Scuff team. Right from the get-go, things are crazy. Dequaza on Cho for the blue team. We have Ultralisk on Gal. Banana Age on Oriel, so they actually swapped Masquerade over to Murky. And Dino is playing the Lost Vikings for the team in blue. To the right side of the map, Scuff team with Mr. Taiko and Uberak. We have big value for the Cocoon here, obviously, against Cho'Gall. Master Chips on Sonya, Hanzuka on Lucio. J-Hard is playing Sylvanas. And we got Mind Talk on Li Ming in this first game of the best of 5 series. Now, as I already explained before, Vikings on Blackheart's Bay are actually fairly interesting because all of these small pirate camps that will spawn later can be easily taken by the Vikings, and you can really run around with Baylok having a ton of doubloons here. Banana goes down at the bot lane already, so that 4-man pressure play with Sylvanas is definitely paying dividends for Scuff team, as they not only do some structural damage but also take a hero down. They weren't able to eliminate Cho'Gall just yet, but still, they are trying to put more pressure onto the big fat ogre. And here we go. It's not looking like he's going to be able to do much about that. So Sylvanas is already moving in with the rest of them, and a couple of beetles get spawned to soak the shots of the towers as they're aiming for the first tower down here, whereas the top side is dominated by Murky and the Vikings. Yeah, but seems like Cho'Gall is not going to make it. So already we have a very quick triple kill against the blue team, and they're losing ground at the bottom of the map. We talked yesterday a bit about how obviously a lot of their picks are a bit more on the trolley side, and this is definitely also true for the first game in this particular series. I highlighted in the draft that the red team should not be underestimated, even though on a skill level the blue team is obviously ahead. But the question is, are you so far ahead that you can make that draft work? That's more the question. So we got the chests up on the map. The balloons are being locked in. Bot lane has suffered. They nearly lost the fort there. Murky is starting to backdoor some of the minion waves, whereas the Vikings are pushing up at the lane. They could also just reverse that particular set. But the red team is more or less getting all of the doubloons here. Now, they missed out on a few of them, but Sonya is looking at 5, and in total they have 12, so that's a guaranteed first turn. And if you're making it towards Blackhearts and are able to give him all of the doubloons there, it's pretty interesting. Now, we already have Murky being attacked. Clearly a bit of a problem. And he is going to fall, but not before he activates the spray and is looking solid. The rotation in the middle, that's a bit of a different story. So over here we're already seeing that the wall has been destroyed. And as I predicted a bit earlier, the Vikings are very busy around camps. Dino in particular is now also starting to take the siege giants, or at least he's thinking about it. Doesn't seem like it's working the way that he intended. Whereas, no, Olaf is Olaf is actually going to die if he stays there. Yep, Olaf is not going to make it. Doesn't really look good. And Nubrak should be able to take him down here, and that is another 2 doubloons in the hands of Scuff team, who can now turn in. Now at the bottom of the map, things haven't gone any better for the blue team. We had Mind Talk together with Li Ming and some siege giants take the fort down. There's still some pressure in the middle of the map as the blue team is attempting to respond in kind. So a lot of structural damage is done right from the beginning without even Blackhearts chipping in with the barrage. But now the cannonballs are fired towards mid lane, and that's going to eliminate another fort. So yeah, Murky is once again added, but at the top Cho'Gall is doing his thing. So Murky is actually distracting them, and so do the Vikings. Kinda is interesting though what's happening down at the bottom of the map. It seems that Scuff team just decided that they are going to heavily attack the bot lane and force them to react. They're pretty much looking at this saying, we got a Sylvanas, we got two Siege Giants. If you guys don't react to this, then you are going to be screwed. We got the Mercenary Queen here on top of this too. And the top lane has obviously suffered, but the fort is still there. And now the wall at the bottom keep has been completely demolished. And it could also extend to the keep if this continues. So Scuff team is just pretty much saying, hey, we need to end this early. We need to be as aggressive as we possibly can and get way ahead here, and then maybe we can win through the objective. But let's try to punish them as early in the game as humanly possible. And they did a lot of damage here. I mean, the keep is now down to 50% HP, and we're only 4 minutes into the game. Let me repeat that. We're 4 minutes into the game. Look at the minimap. 3 forts have been destroyed. One is at 50% HP, and one of the keeps is also at half HP. So, yeah, it's a bit wild. Another 3 doubloons are collected as Eric gets destroyed, and now they're turning in a few more of their doubloons, which leads to, potentially, another barrage. Things are a bit mad right now, for sure. The builds here with the Seared Flesh, we have the Fire Starter, we also get the Emphatic Link. Nobody has level 10 abilities obviously just yet, we're still 1 level away from it. Top side, this is where we're going to see another fort fall now, which means that the blue team does not have a single fort standing, or will not have a single fort standing after this cannonball barrage. So all of the outer layer of defense is now gone. Murky is still taking the mini waves down, allowing the additional pressure at the top lane, which eventually is going to destroy the fort. But they need to do more than that. And with another camp that was just now taken by a Scuff team, they're now hoping to push through the bottom of the map and do some serious damage and take that keep down. Leap by Sonya is now being claimed. Octograb is obviously in. We got the Resurrect for Oriel. That was to be expected. Hammer of Twilight. Sonya gets murdered at the top by Murky and the Vikings, and the top lane fort is going to fall. But I don't think that the red team is going to mind too much, because their whole attention is focused on the bottom of the map, where they are now trying to get some kills. Cho'Gall gets cocooned, and Oriel is dead. The bottom keep is not looking good. The Resurrect is going to come in on Oriel, but Cho'Gall is still suffering over there, and they need a bit more than that. Murky is currently turning in some of the doubloons that they got, but it's not going to lead to a barrage in their favor. The keep is still standing, so the defense at the bot lane worked out for them. They were able to pull that one off. And, well, it's still 12 doubloons for Scuff team. They got 12 doubloons over here. Oh, that's nearly a turn in, and Sonya is now starting to join the team. There's a bit of an invade happening. Octograb is in, but not enough damage on Lucio. The rest of the team wasn't there, but what a whip by Oriel. Nice. And that's a quick kill. Lead by Sonya, and goodbye Oriel and Cho'Gall dead, and so are the Vikings. The red team with some absolute mad action around the Siege Giant camp that they now successfully claim, and with 15 doubloons in their hands, they can seriously threaten the keep in the middle of the map. Vikings are still ensuring that team is not falling too far behind in experience, but well, suffice it to say that this isn't looking too good for the blue team. Maybe they over-trolled a little bit. Maybe they just went a bit too deep with their team composition this time. It worked well in the first best of 5 that they played in this group, but now things are starting to be a little bit more crazy. They went really all out with that comp for the first map, so yeah. Sonya taken again by Abatha, sorry, not Abatha, Murky and the Vikings. But at the bottom of the map, it's the same picture of what we've seen previously. 2 Siege Giant camps, Mercenary Queen Sylvanas, and the rest of them is moving in. Cocoon is ready for Cho'Gall, and this keep is gone. The keep is gone. This one's gone, and well, so is Cho'Gall. They can go for the Resurrect, obviously, but Oriel is already getting zoned, and this might just be the end of the road here for a team, in the first map. This might just be it. Siege Giants are already starting to hit it hard. Core obviously trying for some defensive measures. Oriel is being blocked away so that she can't go for the Resurrect, and the core is falling, and it's falling quickly. This is not looking pretty whatsoever. Yep, Resurrect came through. Oriel is dead. You know what else is dead? The core. A 1-0 for Scuff Team as they take the lead. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. The trolls got trolled! Towers of Doom is map number 2 and, well, the blue team overdid it a little bit on the first map. Unfortunate for them. Scuff Team, they looked at that draft and were like, boys, that might work against one of the amateur teams from Heroes Lounge in the lower divisions. That's not going to work against us. They had a Sylvanas, they went for early pushes, they used the Nubarak for the Cocoon against Shogal, and they absolutely demolished them. 8.5 minutes and Scuffed Team won Blackheart's Bay. So Team Woe has to now rethink this a little bit and has to be like, how exactly are we going to play this now? Do we still troll a little bit? If so, how much? Are we going full tryhard from here on out just to be on the safe side? They really need to rethink their approach there slightly. Now, my personal prediction is that they are still going to at least throw a couple of picks in that you would normally expect to see in the later stages of Meta Madness in a tournament or in a match, but that they will take this a little bit more serious than they did on the first map, because you don't want to fall 0-2 against an opponent in a best of 5, even if you're generally supposed to be the stronger team. Anything can happen in a best of 5, and losing one map is pretty quick. Obviously, the 10 heroes that we've seen on the first map, they've already been eliminated, so they can't be played anymore. But then again, one theory was that they were just trying to remove the crazy heroes. It's an interesting approach for sure, but after the first best of 5 that they played in this group, let's be honest, they definitely deserved that. So they went a bit overboard, they were a little bit too hyped, and now they have to check it out. But yeah, so we got a Junkrat first pick. Bit of a moment of truth here for the blue team. So what's it gonna be? What are they going for? Malfurion and Urel. Alright. The trolling is over. We might still see 1-2 crazy picks, but at least the backbone of the draft is fairly normal. So they have been activated. The real team has been triggered now. So we get a Urel here on Towers of Doom, and we get a Malfurion. The Hogger for the global, all the way towards the top. And, well, we get a Stukov for support. Alright, so Stukov against Malfurion. Got Urel in. Let's see what else they are going to ban. Mindtalk is obviously going to be the damage dealer for the team, or one of the main damage dealers for the red team. He's been playing Kerrigan quite a bit in Infernal Shrine matches throughout the group stage for them. And they've actually been starting to target especially Maiev here in the ban pattern, and I don't think this is going to change throughout the series. You want to make sure that Ultralist doesn't get his best pick or anything. The last time that they played Maiev was actually with Abathar. That was pretty disgusting, and I could totally see them do something similar again. Even if you are not going for a full-on troll draft going into an Abathar, for example, might not be such a bad idea depending on what exactly you're using for damage and at the front line. But Zeratul gets banned. Here comes Medivh. Okay, so could be even a Stitches. Masquerade has played him a lot in the past, but they go for Garrosh. So we don't get a Kidnap combo, but we still have Medivh by Ultralisk, so they can throw a couple of those shields out and go for also very aggressive portal engages, which they are likely going to do. I mean, with Stitches, you're trying to hook and then escape through the portal, especially after a Gorge. With Garrosh, you can start to be a bit more aggressive. I mean, Zarya Garrosh is always the idea that you're getting the speed bubble on Garrosh. He runs into the team, flips the target over. If you have Medivh, you can just portal right next to an opponent, and Garrosh can do his thing. Uther is the main tank, and we get Imperius, so now all of a sudden we have a double support again for Scuffed Team, with Uther doubling as the main tank, but he has some assistance on the side with the Haka and with Imperius, so triple melee. And, well, what are we getting from Dequaza? Final pick over here. What's it gonna be? Actually, Dequaza should play Rel, so I guess it's going to be Dino and Tychus. Towers of Doom, everybody! Map number 2 in the best of 5 here at Meta Madness Group B, so let's go and let's see what the blue team has in store for us this time. Game number 2, Towers of Doom. Dequaza on Urel, Dino and Tychus, Ultralisk is playing Medivh, Banana Age on Malfurion, and Masquerade on Garrosh. To the right side of the map, it's Master Chips on Dehaka. We got Mr. Tycho on Uther, Hanzuka on Stukov, J-Hard and Imperius, and Mindtalk is playing Junkrat. I'm a simple man. I see Hanzuka and I have to laugh. I made the bazooka joke already a couple of times, but Hanzuka, for whatever reason, is such a funny name. Every time I introduce him, I have to giggle a little bit. I don't know why. I can't really explain it to you, but it's one of these things. I mean, I think most people have that, at least I hope so, because if not, then it just means that I'm a little bit crazy. But there's like certain words and certain names that whenever I see them, I just have to laugh. And when I see Hanzuka, it's a mix between Hanuta and Bazooka. It's a chocolate cookie bazooka, that's what it is. So yeah, Hanuta and Bazooka, there we go, that's why. Oh boy, oh boy. They're already trolling a little bit with Masquerade throwing Tychus to the front, but let's not forget that they also just killed Junkrat, so they started things off with First Blood. We also have, in regards to build, some adjustments. Dino is zipping out in the last second. Press the advantage on level 1 has been taken, so it's going to be all about the auto attacks and very likely in the rhythm. Against 3 frontliners, that should guarantee him a lot of stacks here. But yeah, they are definitely being a bit aggressive. Now we also have to watch out for our boy Ultralisk, because it's all about the stacks that he gets for his baseline. Now that I've been talking about it, I actually want the Hanuta. Now I want some sweets. I have a sweet tooth in the first place, which I'm trying to suppress massively when I get ready for races and Grand Fondos, so that I can still lose some weight and get in fighting shape there. But yeah, outside of that, oof, chocolate is mine, so I really have to pace myself, and now I'm just thinking about Hanutas the entire time. Not really a good look. But what they are thinking about is to get some kills here. It's 1 kill to 1 for the time being, with a little bit of a leading experience for Scuff team. Yeah, and off we go. We got 16 stacks now for Ultralisk, so he's nearly halfway done. J-Hard looking for that stun, couldn't quite get it. Mindtalker swapped over to Junkrat. A little junk boy over here, and as predicted, it is in the rhythm. Now within the rhythm, it's always a question of whether or not at the beginning you can get some stacks together. The more you gain initially, the easier it is to just keep the stack numbers high as the game continues. That extra damage should be pretty sweet. Obviously, the next question would be, does it impact his level 10? We had in the Skyline Cup that I commentated the other day, we actually had some interesting choices, since some of the Chinese teams went over and over and over again for the drill instead of Odin, so that was a bit wild, but yeah, we actually had that. So we'll see. Oh, another hit. Yeah, they're trying to come in with the portal over here. Good. Good stacks also now for Dino. So they're sitting at 18, and they might get a kill even on Uther, and they take him down. Uther gone as Urel fights with Dehaka at the top lane. Now it turns against Masquerade on the other hand. Yeah, still alive here. And more stacks are coming together for Dino. He's sitting at 29. This is actually pretty good. Like, if he gets another few together with the hits against J-Hard in a second, I think he's gonna die before. It would even be better, but 30 this early in the game after 3-4 rotations of his trade is not shabby. Also, Ultralisk is sitting at 30 stacks on his baseline, so another 10 before he's going to be ready. But this is actually a really good start for them now. Initially it was maybe a bit iffy, but with 3 kills to 1, they're looking good. They've already gotten 1 of the altars. They're more or less guaranteed another one. And yeah, can they interrupt? No. Can't interrupt right now. Couple of additional hits coming in. It's a 2-for-1 trade. We have level 7 talents, and with that he actually also went for the combat tactician. So it's really full on auto attack build now for Tychus. Urel gets murdered in the middle. Tychus, he on the other hand, is now really homing in on all of the auto attack talents that he can get. No grenade talents have been chosen whatsoever, which means that with the sizzling attacks later, there's a lot of synergy to be had for Tychus, and it's really important for Dino to get those stacks in on the level 4, which he should get without a problem. And I mean, he's already doing more here, so he is looking at 50. Guys, this is a really nice progress for Dino, and since he's going to be the main damage dealer for the team, this should really help him in the later stages in big team fights to get really solid damage numbers out against the front line. He has 3 targets there. Talking about targets, Malfurion becomes the target for the red team and he dies. Yeah, Dino still stacking a bit. It should be reflected in his damage, honestly. And it definitely is. I mean, look at the damage difference that we are seeing here. 20,000 for Tychus, and we have 14,000 for Imperius on the other side. So the numbers for Dino are already looking fairly good here. So he's extending the duration of his minigun further and further as Ultralisk is able to complete his baseline quest. But this is likely going to continue. Urel trying to set it up a bit with the flank didn't really quite work out. Oh, the play against Masquerade, but yeah, they shut that down. They save him quickly. There's still a lead in experience on the other hand for Scuff team, so that's still a thing. So we'll see if they can maybe get the early level 10 and then play around that, but so far that hasn't really happened yet. Yeah, I mean, Ultralisk himself is also now able to just get a bit more done with his Arcane Rift thanks to the completed quest. 74 stacks for Tychus. Yeah, he's looking good here. We got the Divine Shield out, the level 10 abilities are in, and that's half a level of a lead, and of course they can with the Heroics now immediately turn that fight against the blue team. And this is dicey for Team Wow. Yeah, Malfurion, he dies again. And it seems that Masquerade is not going to make it either. We got a few more portals in, and oh, he got so close! He died on the other side of the portal. He actually died on the other side of the portal. Made it through as a corpse. Yep, there's finally their own heroics. And we get drill! They're actually drilling it up, yep. It's a drill, baby, and we're already getting drill value right now. Good stuff. Real man drill deep. If StarCraft 2 taught us one thing, then it's that slogan. So 5 kills to 3, still in favor of Scuff team, and we also have the Decimate over here. And obviously with 100 stacks already accomplished, we have Tychus now in a position where he's going to pad those stacks further and further and further. That's 3 seconds that he has for that. So that's actually pretty impressive. 3 seconds this early in the game. You can imagine how this is going to look in the very late game. He's going to get that through completely. It's pretty much like a very old build that he's using right now. The level 13 talent is going to be interesting. So they don't invade over here. But Scuff team is actually doing this real well. I mean, Scuff team is doing a lot of work here. A few more hits are coming in, yeah. And can they go for Tychus? There's a nice cleanse, alright. Leyline is out. Can they follow up on it on the other hand? That's a bigger question. And currently doesn't really seem like it, but maybe with the portal we're going to get another flip. They're immediately going for Garrosh. But the flip is there and so is the root. And that's the end of Imperius. Well done. Good kill in the 4 versus 4 situation. Everybody moving back down to the bottom of the map. Haven't seen a single bell tower touched yet, so nobody is attacking any of the structures yet with full force. But the next rotation on the altars is spawning at the top of the map. So we're going to see the top left, top right. Very likely split between the 2 teams. It's not common to see teams go for both here. Unless you have a talent advantage, unless you have a numbers advantage, that play usually doesn't happen. But it seems that the blue team is actually gearing up for an aggressive posturing, hoping to kill the Haka though. So that's their plan. Take the Haka down, and once that he died, then make sure that you're getting maybe both. So, yeah, the Haka seems like he's gonna be able to get away. Ultralisk is also on the run. Another flip. Boss gets activated too. Yeah, there's the Divine Shield on Tyrael. Not Tyrael, Imperius. Basically, Imperius is the big brother of Tyrael. He's the older brother. Tyrael is a little bit more on the aggressive side. They're both pretty snobby. Both pretty arrogant as they're striding on the battlefield. like German bureaucrats, but Imperius is clearly the older one of the two. And he also dies in that situation. So yeah, he goes down right away. So does Uther. That's 2 already gone. Riptide attempt against Dino, I suppose, but the Tranquility is also helping him out. And by the way, have a look at how he's stacking his level 4. I talked in the early game about how it's important to get the first initial rotations on your trade right if you're going for in the rhythm. And he's done exactly that. And now in the big team fight, he's really stacking it up like a madman. 160. 160. We're having with roughly a 5-second increase already on the duration, which is massive. They are getting both of these altars, by the way. Thanks to the kills that they just locked in. They got the one to the top right. And I would be shocked if they are not able to get this one either. Obviously, Malfurion is still dead, but they only have to bridge another 6 seconds to get him back in. Tychus still attacking, is able to move back in and out. Yeah, saves himself. And is looking now at 179 stacks. Tequaza jumping out with 50 hit points, 60 hit points, however much that was, and survives. Malfurion is back to business, but they're still looking at a 4 versus 5. So there's actually a solid chance now that Scuff teams might get this after all. With 2 channelings simultaneously, they're not being interrupted. So it is the exchange between the altars at the end of the day. Just not the way that it would normally pan out. Damage numbers, let's have a quick look at those two. 54,000 for Tychus, showcasing once again how much damage he can actually do with this. Yeah, Dino still trying to crush this a little bit further. One attack after another. He is so far ahead in the numbers. I mean, he's doubling what we are seeing, nearly doubling what we're seeing from Medivh. Imperius is at 36, so that's also not really a whole lot. Tychus hasn't died yet, by the way, so he's the only one that has not fallen yet. He's also the focus, obviously, of Medivh, to just name one example. So Ultralisk always has his back and comes in with the shields and also with the portals to make sure that he doesn't die. But here comes the aggression at the bottom of the map. Nicely dodged on the mine, and the stuns are still there, and that is the end of Masquerade. Masquerade is dead. Yep, he gets taken out. And as Dino starts to dodge things, we also have the drill back on the ground to safeguard the bottom bell tower. Right. With that said and done, what else are we getting? We got 197 stacks, so nearly 6 seconds now, extended duration. I mean, as the games continue, honestly, he's going to rely on his trade pretty much throughout the entire team fight. That's what's happening here. Level 16 talents are available for Scuff team. The blue team is trailing a bit behind, which means they have to play catch-up as the altars are being announced right now. And, well, I really like the way that Scuff team is currently bringing the fight to the blue team. After the trolling that we saw in the first series, they definitely got a bit too cocky, and now they're slowly brought back down to solid ground here. So we'll see how successful they're going to be here, but they've definitely realized that they can't just troll around the entire day. Seems like we're going to see Medivh caught again. Yeah, and Ultralisk goes down. Sizzling attacks are now in, but this is a 5 versus 4 situation in favor of the red team, as long as they can save Uther, which isn't quite guaranteed. So, gotta be careful with that. Tranquility gets used early. Another few hits are coming in. Tychus gets attacked, but he's just oh, the Riptide, nice! That was glorious. If he would have been able to just get his damage through, that would have been a huge problem for them, potentially. But now they took him down with a quick explosion, and they got a secondary kill on Malfurion. They even get Urel, and that's 13 kills to 6. 5 shots fired, as the bottom bell tower has also been claimed. So things are starting to look a bit grim for team. Whoa. We have Scuff team with 13 kills to 6. Heavily ahead right now, and doing fantastic on structures. They're about to claim another bell tower. And at the top, the Hogger is doing the same thing. There's a chance that we're going to see a barrage. We could see the beginning of a barrage here. That's how bad things currently are for the blue team. And they are losing ground all over the place. So, yep, the bell tower still doing some damage, but I'm pretty sure that it's going to fall here. Tychus is back to business, but not in time to take this one. Oh, is it? Wow, they get the kill. They can't save the bell tower, but at least they get the kill over here. Top side, they are going to lose very, very soon, so they have to retake something. 23 points to 28, and Master Chips claims it. So the shots are being fired. All of the bell towers under the control of Scuff team. Let's see how many shots they're going to get through here. They're, of course, going to try and prolong this as much as they can. And, yep, there's the fight. This could be the end of the game, depending on how this goes. If the blue team loses the fight here, then it is just all over. But the focus is, of course, on the bell tower. They forced them back. They claim it. In total, we had 4 shots fired against the core, so it's 19 points against 28. But team, whoa, is on their last leg here. One team fight that they lose, and it could be lights out. And it's a triple altar phase. Let's not forget about that. That's technically 18 points that Scuff team is fighting for. So they go for the aggression. They try and get some kills in here as quickly as they possibly can. They have Uther isolated, and he goes for the Divine Shield very early. And Dino is finding himself in a really shitty spot here. He needs a shield, he needs a heal, and he needs a portal as quickly as possible. There's the shield, where's the portal? Doesn't get it, and it's too late. He's dead. Damage dealer gone. Glorious play by Junkrat. That's exactly what they needed here. And now the damage dealer is not with him anymore. This is a massive problem. Pumpkins, 3 are fired. Huge damage against team. Wow. They're losing Imperius, Garrosh. Imperius is chasing Malfurion. The Hogger has already tunneled down to the bottom of the map to fire another 6 shots. And this could very well be game. Even if they just go for the boss right now, they're going to win it. This got to be a 2-0. The shots are fired and this is game. This is game. 81,000 damage by Tigers. It's not been enough. 15 kills to 7 and Scuff team is ahead with a 2-0. Well, game number 3, and it is a 2-0 lead for Scuffed team, everybody. So, seems like the blue team over-trolled a little bit, not only in game number 1, but I don't think they necessarily expected to lose game number 2 as well. Now we're heading into the 3rd map, and it's the first match point for Scuffed team. Now, there's obviously quite a lot of fans of the blue team that immediately came in and said, like, it's all a ruse, they're just trying to go for a 5-mapper, so they now set up the stage. Could happen. They are absolutely capable of getting a reverse sweep going. 100%. These guys are insanely strong. They can definitely reverse sweep. But this is a dangerous position to be in, no matter what. You're going up against an opponent that has a 2-0 lead over you in a format like Meta Madness, where anything can happen. And if at any point the red team outfoxes their opponents in the draft, or just have a couple of things come together for them in the game itself, then all of a sudden it's a victory for Scuff team. And as I said before, this might be the series that decides who takes the first slot in the group stage. Now, there's a lot more games to play. We still have another best of 5 matches that have to be played out. But this is going to determine a lot. There's a very solid chance that whoever wins this match is going to become first place in the group. And a first place in the group guarantees you a much, much easier route in the playoffs. So while this is not the worst, I mean, again, if you're just coming in 2nd place, it's not the worst thing, but you are all of a sudden going up against another top spot from a different group. So we could literally see them go up against another one of the top 3 teams. That could definitely happen. So you don't want to be in that position. You want to leave your group as first seed so that you have an easier way throughout the playoffs, at least initially. And well, Maiev gets taken. So this is where things are starting to deviate a little bit away. Obviously now with also the tank pool being whittled down a bit, we are now seeing Muradin, for example, targeted immediately. Maiev gets claimed by Mindhawk, but that leaves Karrigan open, who previously was also banned. So now we have Ultralisk on Karrigan. This is Infernal Shrines after all. So right now, blue team definitely has to focus a little bit. We get Grey Main and we get White Main here. This is game 3, so 30 heroes are banned. 30 heroes are banned. And yeah, it's gonna be wild. If Scuff team now takes this, this would be pretty sick. That would definitely be the first big upset in the group stage, which is not necessarily expected. So Karrigan, Ultralisk, he will have to really work hard on this now and make some sick plays and combos work out. That's what happens when you over-troll. So yesterday it worked out for them. And a lot of people were offended. It's like, oh my god, how can they? And today, it backfired. At least up to now. Ana gets banned. Kerrigan and Leoric. I mean, it's good wave clear already. You had Leoric for the rotation between the mid and the top lane. He's very valuable also for the shrine fights. Kerrigan, obviously, is absolutely insanely powerful by this. For all the combos that Ultralisk can get out on the map in particular too. But, I mean, again, it's one of the go-tos for Ultralisk in the first place. We get a Rhaegar, Tyrael. Oh, yeah, very aggressive comp. Tyrael and Kerrigan, that's always crazy. You got the shield, you got the sanctification, you can jump in with both of them. So, yeah. Good stuff, I like it. What are we getting for the team on the right side, though? We still need a frontliner for them. They got Greymane, that was already good. They got Maiev in here. Are we going to get 2 more melees? We should get a side laner and a main tank. So what's it going to be for them? Especially against Kerrigan. Okay, we get Malthael and May. They're working around the slows and the control here a little bit, and Malthael is also a pretty decent choice. Dino with the final pick. Again, match point number 1. Match point number 1 for Scuff Team. Can Team WoW make the reverse sweep happen? Can they pull that off? They're good enough to do it, but it's winning 3 games in a row. That is difficult in the best scenario. So any mistake now can lead to a match victory for Scuff Team. And Dino goes for Gelthusat. Alright, here we are. Game number 3, everybody. Infernal Shrines. Let's get the party started. Scuff Team against Team WoW. Game number 3. Gelthusat is in the house. Played by Dino, Ultralisk on Kerrigan, Nequaza on Leoric, Banana Age on Rhaegar, and Masquerade on Tyrael. Now, Dino, generally speaking, actually likes Gelthusat. He likes to play him, but obviously Gelthusat comes with a lot of disadvantages, the biggest one being that he is insanely squishy, and when targeted, he very quickly dies. Now, this is Meta Madness, so this is exactly the tournament where you expect heroes like him to be played and to eventually make an appearance. But seeing him now in this game is still fairly interesting, since there were a lot of damage dealers still on the board that they could have taken, more conventional ones. We have Mindtalk on Maiev for the red team, Hanzuka on Whitemane, Mr. Tyke on May, J-Hard on Greymane, and Master Chips is playing Malthael. Now, on level 1, we get the Plague Lands for Dino with Gelthusat. And this is actually gonna get really... yeah, that's what I mean with squishy. Did you see that? That was pretty much just a tether and a hit, and all of a sudden Dino was at 60% HP. But you can siege up quite heavily also with Gelthusat if you're trying to go for structures, as they do down here at the bottom of the map now. But we have Gilnean Cocktail on level 1 here with a perfect aim for Greymane. Yeah, and already the combos are coming through. There's a lot of CC, as you can tell, but there's also Greymane to consider. And he and Kerrigan are immediately at each other's throat as the first fight starts up. Maybe they can go a little bit deeper on this one too. Level 10 is going to be really interesting. Once that we are looking at Sanctification and Kerrigan encounters, whenever the Shrine fight pops up, this is going to get super spicy. Obviously, Whitemane can be fairly powerful as a support to keep isolated targets alive, and we might see that too. Yep, camp is claimed. Over on the left side, the blue team is obviously attempting to do the same thing. And they are insanely quickly getting attacked here, and I think this camp is going to get stolen. They might even get a kill. Banana Age is low and goes down. The camp is claimed, and that is Scuff Team taking a bit of a lead. It's a small one, but it's there, and they are going to likely walk away with all 3 camps now. So already we have level 4 as an advantage for Scuffed Team. And yep, this is not a great start for the blue team. They came in as a clear favorites, not only for the group, but as I mentioned, they were also one of the top 3 teams for the tournament victory. Now we have Tyrael dying, and they are struggling more and more. I mean, it is Sunday. I don't know if the boys have gone drinking last night. I don't really think so. It's already 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so unless they went for a massive binge, they should be alright. But whew, they are not off to a good start here. We've got 2 kills to 0, nearly a level lead, which will also end up with an early level 7 talent for the red team on the first objective. And this is not looking too good. So, yeah. Depends on how much they can snowball this. Scuff team has a lead. Now they just have to try and turn that little snowball into an avalanche. Armor of the Arc Lich is in. We got the Ghastly Reach and Consume Vitality. So with Ghastly Reach, you can obviously then also with the 13 and 16 talent later on get some additional synergy and really get those things going in the shrine fights. And the first one is already happening. The red team is giving up some ground because they want level 7 first, so they're working on those minion waves before they're attacking too aggressively. But Kerrigan is staying topside, which means it's a 5 versus 4 down at the bottom of the map, and they're attempting to exploit this as best as possible. Masquerade, bit low, went in deep, jumps back out, and gets killed. Masquerade is down, everybody's spreading. He still connects with Malthael though, but Whitemane with the save. And they are taking over the shrine. Kerrigan is still here. We got her in position, but they are still lacking the level 7 talent. And whew, that seems like the first objective is gonna go over to Scuffed team. So team, whoa, they are in a pretty awkward spot right now. Game number 1, they went for Cho'Gall, Murky, Vikings. They definitely went a little bit deep with the comp, and they got punished for it within 8 minutes and 30 seconds. I really think that on game number 2, with a more proper composition, they were thinking that they would look, or they thought that they were looking at an easy victory. That illusion was immediately dispelled, and now Scuff team is trying to do their thing in game number 3. Now Mindtalk, he gets attacked and is definitely suffering, but he's not dying, and they're still taking the entire wall down. So the Punisher, jumping in, gets a piece of the action. Banana Age low, but he makes it out alive. Still a close encounter. We are still looking at a 1 level lead though for Scuff team. They had Malthael already rotating a little bit between the lanes. Let's not forget that Kel'Thuzad is in the meantime stacking on his level 1. So he is currently at 16 stacks here, and the added spell power that he gets at 30 will make a big difference in the later stages of the game. We also have some stacks for the Incendiary Elixir, for Greymane. But with an early level 10, there might be a chance to go, who knows, for a fort, maybe a bit more. Malthael at the top, on the other hand, gets caught by Ultralisk and by the Quasar. So that's the end. That's the first kill actually for the blue team, and the end of Malthael. The Angel of Death has been deaded, and that caught them more or less up in experience, especially since they're also going for the top wall now. The attempt to gank up on Kel'Thuzad didn't really work, and Jayat might be going a bit deep here. Now they got level 10. The thought process was obviously to try and make a play for the bottom fort, but now that the blue team caught up so quickly, that is not necessarily going to work out for them here. We get the Ice Wall, we also have Go for the Throat. Disc is out, they're trying to make a play there. Get the Frost Blast from Kel'Thuzad, Ultralisk, and the Entomb. This one zones out Whitemane, but Leo dies for his troubles. The combo not quite perfect, but they might still be able to get a kill on Greymane. Nah, not quite. So, yeah, quick back and forth here on the hits. 4 kills to 1. Keep in mind, Malthael is actually not at the bottom of the map, so there's a numbers advantage going on either way. Malthael topside can give them a bit more XP, but the blue team is definitely becoming more and more aggressive with their plays. They're now starting to take the bottom wall down. Topside, not only the wall has been destroyed, but also the fort itself has been taken down to 50% HP. A little bit less than that, actually. So structurally, we see a team, wow, pulling ahead slowly. The red team has not given up on the bottom fort yet, though. They still want this one. And they are pushing in very, very quickly, even before the minion wave is here. But the rotation is already headed their way. So they might be a bit too aggressive in this case. Malthael is on the way back towards the top. Ult from Kel'Thuzad is in. Sanctification is out. Hanzuka in trouble. The Ice Wall on point to lock him down, but it also blocked their path of retreat. So now Whitemane gets targeted. She's down. They're going for Mind Talk. Another Entomb, this time a lot better. Greymane is able to jump out, but he still gets killed. Mind Talk is jumping out of the way, but it's still another 2 kills in favor of the blue team, and that allows them to be even more aggressive here at the bottom of the map now, with the Shrine activating in the middle. And in comes Kel'Thuzad. Dino starting to rack up the damage. He's at 15,000, 16,000 before he completes his baseline. So that extra damage boost that he's going to get through that should really help him to pull ahead. We haven't seen Malthael in any of these fights after level 10, at least not having an impact, so no ults from him yet either. That could help with the cooldown reduction. But as Kerrigan and Leo have made their way over towards the Shrine, it seems like they are going to easily get the Punisher for the team now. If that gets scouted, Mind Talk is so done for. But Leo, initially it looked like he was trying to make his way over there, but instead he's going to the top so that he can take down the fort. At least that was the thought process behind it. Now, they have the objective. We get an Arcane Punisher, and they're pushing into the middle. Punisher already jumping out. Ult being used on Malthael. Yeah, nice. And this is the quest completed. So at this point, damage is at 18,000, and let's see how Dino from here on out is going to do with the numbers, because the baseline completion is definitely going to be very beneficial for them. Pausing the game though, just as they're pushing past the fort here, seems like the Quasar has disconnected, so that's a bit unfortunate. We have in the middle still a camp doing a bit of damage to the tower, could even fall. But after Leo has more or less guaranteed that the top fort is going to fall soon, we are now having the middle attack. That fort is going to get destroyed, and then it's just a question of whether or not they can make it straight towards the wall and take this one down as well. It's going to come down to whether or not they can get some kills here. But Dino completing the baseline is going to be super important. As you can see right now, he has completed the 30. He's looking strong on this one. With level 13, we're going to get him with the Icy Grasp now. And for Leoric, we actually got the Spectral Leech here. So they zoned them away from the middle fort to drop this one. And since the Arcane Punisher is really giving Scuff Team some trouble, this is going to get destroyed 100%. So after initially suffering multiple deaths at the hands of Scuff Team, the blue team is slowly taking control of all of this. And looking better and better and better. Now the push through the middle is not resulting in anything more but the fort being destroyed, but since there's still camps on the map, they can easily grab those, and the hope is, of course, from the blue team's perspective, to now also destroy the bottom fort, or at least get the hit points removed a bit. And that's exactly what they're currently doing. So there's still this camp, by the way, in the middle of the map. It's not going to survive much longer, since eventually there's going to be a minion wave that deals with it. But it is still in play. 3 kills to 4. Bit of a lead for Scuff Team still, but in experience, they're dead even now. Stacks for Greymane are coming together. He's at 7. Struggling a bit more to get those. The last few team fights haven't really gone out too well for him. But here we are. Another set of hits is coming. They go for Master Chips again. Oh, and he gets out. But boy, oh boy, that was a close call here. The disc on my F was also absolutely crucial. Ice block from Mei. And she is not going to make her way out of this one. Also, Greymane finally gets the kill in against Kel'Thuzad. The Sanctification was a little bit too late to save Dino's life. Jayhart makes it out of the battle, but while he's able to escape, some of his teammates are having real trouble down here. So Mind Talk, he's able to jump out, job well done, but of course this fort is gonna fall. The funny part is that Jayhart is just deciding that he's now going to solo this game. So after he just killed Kel'Thuzad, he jumped into 5, killed Kel'Thuzad, then he moves to the middle. He's like, you know what, I'm going to take this this fort as well. He is going to get punished for it, but again, I call value. I absolutely call value here. So they take the doggy down, but this is still worth it. Now, they are trying to use the lack of defenders at the bottom of the map to go for the fort. This is not gonna happen. At least not without them paying for it. So in comes Mei. Yeah, I guess Mind Talk is not gonna... actually, with the disc out against Rhaegar, he might just be able to escape. Whiteman has already fallen on the other hand. But at the same time, we have another Entomb. And, yep, Mace to the face. Leo, swing and win, baby. Gets the kill on Whitemane, and he gets the kill on Mei as well. As topside, Ultralisk destroys another fort. So, we currently have every single fort destroyed on the red team side. Are Whitemane and Greymane actually related? Like, we have, like, Whitemane living around this game, we got Greymane. Is there some relationship that I should know about? Brother and sister or something along those lines? Is that happening? Is that like Gandalf the Grey and Gandalf the White? Something like that? Do they have a Gandalf moment? Like, I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I assume that something is happening. Coincidence? I don't think so. Double kill against Greymane, talking about him. And Maiev, and now the keep is open. And yep, with 10 kills to 5. Team is getting a bit more aggressive now. So they're doing that thing here with another quick Entomb that gets popped. Might get another kill, but yeah. 27,000 for Greymane, by the way, on the damage board. 37,000 for Kel'Thuzad. And, well... Kerrigan, she's missing. Kerrigan is going for the objective. Kerrigan is topside, taking one skeleton down after another. Ultralisk is being efficient as usual. Earn some German credits. And they're 2 levels ahead now, of course, too. So that is another factor in their favor. Yeah, well, we have currently 39. He is delaying this a little bit. I think they are going to try and get level 20 with the objective. So as long as Kerrigan is sitting topside, they can buy themselves a bit of time for this. If they now also drop Malthael, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. So Malthael down, that's more experience. They get the camp too. And that is bad news, because now it's level 19.5, and if they now take the objective, which Kerrigan did, then they can not only go for a 2-pronged attack at the bottom and the top, but they can also pretty much guaranteed get a level 20 with this, especially now that they took Greymane down too. So Greymane dying just means that they have another experience boost, and this is going to be a total disaster here. Especially with Mind Talk, barely able to escape, gets zoned out, the bottom keep is gone, ults are taken on 20, that gives us the damned return, and yep, this is a problem. And a big one at that. This could very well be game. It should be game. It's a 3-level lead. You're 7 kills ahead. 2 heroes are dead. And we have topside also Frozen Punisher pushing as the red team is desperately trying to save their core, which is not really looking too good. So once again, they're moving in for Mei. The core is already losing hit points as we have some Khazras and the Catapult still barraging in on it. And Kel'Thuzad on top of that. So 40%, that's all they still got there, and well, this is gonna be game, ladies. The first point on the board for Team WoW, at least eventually. Whitemane down, Rhaegar down. Yeah, I'm gonna get a kill on Whitemane in a second though, and well, it actually never happens because the core is gone. GG, and well played. Game number 4, 40 heroes banned as we're entering the draft, and Cursed Hollow is the map. First point on the board now for Team WoW. And now we're going for the second match point for Scuff Team. So again, they got another shot here. Let's see if the blue team can force game number 5. This is where things are starting to become a little bit more interesting, since options are more and more limited. So right now, as we're looking at Cursed Hollow, we have our 4th map, meaning that 30 heroes are not available anymore because they've been played in the series. And then we have the 10 bans over here for the entire group stage. So now you have to be a bit more careful about what you're picking, what you're playing. A lot of the typical picks for a lot of these players are now removed. We don't have Maiev anymore, we don't have Kerrigan anymore. So there's plenty of heroes that have been taken off the board. There's still, of course, a lot of comps that you could go for. And here for Cursed Hollow, you have several options on how you could play this. Abathar is still up. He's not too bad on the map. We already saw some shenanigans that the blue team pulled off in their first best of 5 in this group. So they could apply something similar to Cursed Hollow here as well. But it definitely is going to be fairly interesting. I mean, the bans make perfect sense here. You also have still Zeratul around, so keep that in mind. He was banned previously, and it's still a hero that Dino in particular could play, but they have multiple players that could go for Zeratul in this context. So it's becoming more and more interesting. You really got to show at this point that you have a pretty big hero pool and that you're able to play all of these guys. And that is a smart ban. I like this. So they ban out Abathur. Abathur would have been strong not only with the cheesy complex Amuro, but even if you just get a Zeratul into the game, Zeratul and Abathur can be such a devastating composition. If you have squishies on your side and you go up against that, you are just getting absolutely wrecked. So Thrall got taken off the board too, and we have a very early pick straight into Muradin. Now keep in mind that a lot of the frontliners have been targeted very reliably, which means that you still have options. Stitches, for example, is one that is up, but Muradin stands out in that context. There's an ETC that you could go for, so we still have a few heroes to be picked there. But if you compare how viable they are in the tournament context to Muradin, I mean, then yeah, pretty straightforward. Okay, so first double pick, we're getting Zeratul again, already talking about that a bit earlier, and we get Mal'Ganis. Okay, I think this is only the second time that we had Mal'Ganis now in the group stage. I think we had him once before, I'm pretty sure. Did we? I'm honestly not quite sure. But yeah, so Mal'Ganis is in the house now, together with the Zeratul. Zeratul was already predicted, and this is the moment where Scuff Team is very happy that they banned out Abathur. And look at this, Jimmy and Zarya. That's not a bad start. That is a pretty decent start in this situation. We got Jim Raynor and we got Zarya. So you are already looking at a very strong four-man that they're potentially setting up here. Zul gets banned since he's just so good at the wave clear and the rotation between the lanes. But yeah, this is going to get super interesting. Now we also have no supports yet, no healers. I mean, there's plenty available still. Deckard Cain is still up, if I'm not mistaken. Karazim is another one. Could go full Lily on us, which I doubt a bit, but yeah, time will tell. Okay, so Cassia gets banned out. Also makes a whole lot of sense. But here comes the double pick. This is where it gets spicy, because I want to see if Ultralisk picks now, or if he actually delays his pick until the opponent has their full lineup on the board. Again, this is another match point for Scuff Team, so if they win this one, they take the series. You have to also be a bit careful around the bosses, of course. Deckard Cain and Jaina. We already had some combos with a VP, so you can go VP Ring of Frost, or you can simply go for Might of the Narazim and try and let Zeratul just roam and really go for backline damage and just always come in, poke and prod and look for a kill. But the combo is available. Technically the combo is available, and you could also use Deckard Cain for that. Stay a while and listen, and then follow it up with a Ring of Frost is also a possibility. Chen and Morales! Alright. Chen and Morales, the pick right there. I'm actually wondering if with that they can backdoor. Yes, they don't have a Sanctification, but they got Chen for a keg and can keg the opponent away. Jimmy for Hyperion. And Zarya is good there as well. That Artanis pick makes more sense in that context, because now with Artanis, if they actually try and do that, you can use your ult to slow it down. So this is actually an interesting idea here. This is a comp that you can definitely play, but you can also backdoor with this. This is an adjustment to that. Guys, this could be really interesting now. Game number 4, let's go and let's find out what exactly the game plan is. Cursed Hollow. Very, very interesting compositions here. We have the Quasar in the 4th game on Cursed Hollow with Artanis. Banana Age on Deckard Cain, Dino on Zeratul, Ultralisk is playing Jaina for the team, and Masquerade on Mal'Ganis. Over on the right side, Mindhog on Reyna, Hanzuka on Morales, we got Mr. Tyke on Muradin, Master Chips on Chen, and J-Hard on Zarya. And again, normally when you're looking at this particular composition, you wouldn't really jump to the conclusion that they're going for a backdoor strategy here. And you can absolutely play this without ever attempting to backdoor. That is absolutely a possibility. Normally, when you're trying a backdoor strat, you're going for Morales, you're going for Tyrael, you want to have the Sanctification, which is very important. But there is a world in which Scuff team could decide to go for Medivac on level 10. Now, of course, there are several tools that would heavily dissuade them from doing that. First of all, the ult on Artanis is one, then you have to stay a while and listen for Deckard Cain. You also, in addition to that, have the Void Prison. So there's actually a lot of very, very good tools that could be used here by the blue team in order to shut all of those attempts to backdoor a keeper or even backdoor the core down. I'm just saying, if they are desperate and they think that they have a shot there, they could still try to pull that off. If they wanted to do that, they would go for the keg on Chen, I'd assume, and as soon as the defenders appear, they would need to use the keg to simply zone the blue team away as best they can. But already, right at the beginning of the game, Mal'Ganis is being eliminated, so that is a quick 1-0 on the kill count. And it will be a very interesting game. There is backdoor potential here, or you could just play this completely straight up. You go for a stim drone on level 10, you use it for Jimmy, you can use it on Zarya. It doesn't really matter too much what you do with it. It's already guaranteed that this is a super strong 4-man. I highlighted that right at the beginning of the draft phase. So they can siege up on these lanes. And they will. They do. Artanis, in the meantime, with the Protector of Aya here on level 1. Still personally absolutely hate this talent, simply because I think it's not strong enough. It should be a little bit stronger. It always feels that even if you get, like, I don't know, at like 500 stacks, it still doesn't have the impact that you would think it should have, getting this many hits in. So, yeah, personal opinion on that. Artanis for the ult is pretty solid. I mean, oftentimes when you're going for a backdoor strategy, he actually is part of that, because the suppression pulse gives you a little bit more time. Any kind of backdoor strategy where you're just trying to go straight for a keep or for a core just hinges on the idea that you're flying in with a medivac, and then you want to do as much damage as you possibly can as quickly as you can before you get attacked. So that's what's usually happening. If they want to do that, they gotta play around this as best as possible. Morales is already helping them to siege up at the top 4, so this is not going to be a problem for them. A lot of the backdoor strats that we've seen in Meta Madness and even previously have oftentimes failed because the team, after taking a keep down, had to realize that they weren't able to destroy a fort. But with damage already done up at the top, this is unlikely to be a problem for them. On the other hand, that little rotation from Dino here definitely put them in trouble, but nicely dodged out by a scuffed team, so they were able to survive through this. Only 1 kill on the board, and we now have the Tribute up, the first one on the map here. Stacking on level 1 for Jimmy. We have him on 16 stacks with the Veteran Marksman. They're getting a freebie on the Tribute. Nobody's trying to interrupt there. Everybody had to move away instead, so yeah, that one was given. Now they can still try and get more damage in on the fort, and since it's already at 40% HP, this is going to fall eventually. Zeratul also has to move straight back down to the middle. Make sure that they're not losing out on any minion experience there. Chen has an easier time rotating between the lanes and keeping that up, so yeah, that's definitely a thing. But it's a very, very interesting game that we're watching now. I want to see what happens around level 10. I could totally see Scuff team just going in a straight up composition. Absolutely. But it would be kind of fun if they would roll the dice here. Technically, they still have 2 maps where they can try to win the series. And you can tell how they are hating on Jimmy. Jimmy down, finally. They're ganking the top lane and they get 1 kill. I think they're going to get the second one too. Morales can heal all day, every day, but at some point it's just going to be too much damage. So yep, there it is. The second kill for the blue team. And that also guarantees them pretty much a Tribute. I would be a little bit surprised if that one would be picked up by Scuff team as well. But since they are going to the camp, you know what? Maybe they can interrupt this after all. So Muradin is already in, gets a hit in against Zeratul, trying to at least remove some hit points here. And obviously he's going to be interrupted on this one. So yep, the rest of them is already in play. Curses are going to be a big tool here too. Nice swap! Good swap, but not good enough. And now the rest of the team is here, with the exception of Chen, and the Panda is on his way. So, yeah, they are willing to fight for this one, but they're also willing to just simply rotate up a bit, get some extra energy for Zarya here, and maybe push another minion wave straight into the fort to remove some additional hit points, slowly and steadily nibbling away at the hit point pool. Ultralisk has to be careful here, but of course these choke points are not too bad for them either, and all of that AoE damage from Jaina is doing work. So that's the end of Muradin, and yeah, now losing way more now. Chen is dead, and oh, Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, pretty much losing everybody right now. Mindtalk is getting swapped over too, so he's gone. Level 10 already on the board for Team Whoa. And yeah, they are crushing it. Now, the more I watch this, the more I'm asking myself, is there anything else that they can do but try to backdoor? And I don't really think so. Now again, there's plenty of tools on the blue team side to slow down or stop down a backdoor. That is where Chen really has to be on point with the barrel if they want to do that. And it's still a big if. Level 10 will tell what the strategy is, but that lead that we're seeing in experience now for the blue team is still very, very strong and powerful. But of course, this can be taken down eventually. So yeah, that's going to be a thing. Level 10 will be ready for the fight on the tribute if they are trying to go for it. But they're going for the boss instead. And it's already being sniffed out here. Level 10, there's the barrel. They have all the tools. Morales hasn't made a choice yet. Morales has not made a choice yet. She's going to be the crucial pick. Medivac, they can backdoor. They can backdoor. From here on out, backdoor is becoming a possibility. They got the barrel and they got the Medivac. If they want to go for that variation of a backdoor composition, those were the two crucial talents. Now, Zeratul has not gone for Void Prison. Keep that in mind. So he cannot Void Prison the core or the keep. That's pretty important here. Hyperion gets used to make sure that the fort falls. That one already works, okay. And Dequaza, yeah, he is also on the way back out after using his own ult. Alright, so the stage is set. The fort is down. Now they can go for keeps. They have to wait for the Hyperion to come back up. We still have a few tools that are super important here. The Suppression Pulse has to be used by Artanis as soon as the keep gets attacked so that he's buying the team some time. They have the Stay in While and Listen, which is kind of crucial here. Mal'Ganis can help as well. But the important part is there is no VP. Oh, what is happening here? Okay, they are just invading. The balls on these people. Really? They're going for Ultralisk and he is dead. The ring setup by Deckard Cain was great, but it wasn't good enough. Seems like Morales is still gonna die and now they don't have a support anymore. So one damage dealer gone, one support eliminated. Yeah, what? I did not expect that particular play to come out here. Super aggressive move and I like the guts behind it, but it backfires heavily. And now they're in real trouble here. I would have wished for that keg to be used a lot sooner than this. So 8 kills to 2. They are still a level behind. Zarya gets swapped and blocked. She dies. And the rest of the team is probably going to fall as well now that Deckard Cain seals the deal here. Or at least tries to. Muradin is still on the run, but he just can't. It was a ballsy move by them, but it didn't work out. Ultralisk, he gets the curse for the team. And they are chasing even more so. They want to try and swap somebody over, but attacking the keep right away will help them too. Oh boy, I could have... I mean, honestly, what I wanted them to do is take the boss. You know that your opponent is taking the bottom boss. Take the boss, fly to the keep, and attack it. And the boss then goes straight for the core. It's not going to do a lot of damage to the core, if any at all. Most likely it's only going to stretch the shield since it's so early in the game. But if you can't take the keep itself down, the boss should seal it. And if you can take it down, then the opponent is still forced back to deal with it. So they didn't go for that. But yeah, they decided to go a different way. It could have worked, honestly. If they win the fight, and keep in mind, they killed Jaina immediately. If they win the fight and then they take the boss, then it's a completely different ball game. But now they're just falling apart here. Another hit is coming. They're losing 3, they're losing 4. Morales is also going to die. And this could already be a play straight up for the core here. The Panda's trying to save the bot lane. Master Chip's getting swapped around a little bit. The curse is over, but it's obviously been hitting them hard. The top fort is gone. The top keep wall is getting attacked. The keep in the middle of the map is already eliminated. It's a 3-level advantage currently for Team WoW that we are talking about here. And yeah, that is just rough. System shock. Void Slash is now in. Oh, this, yeah. Very unlikely. And of course, now that they're going for the boss, you can tell they are already being scouted out. They cannot really go for this. Yeah, maybe Ultralisk isn't going to be there in time, but the attacks are coming. It's only half HP. No, 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 no. Not like this. If you wanted to backdoor, then maybe, but even that, they're getting it. They're falling apart here. They're absolutely falling apart. A kill against Zarya. This is just it. They are getting dismantled here. Currently, Team WoW is like a surgeon wielding a scalpel. They're dissecting the opponent's team. Team WoW is going through Scuff Team like hot butter through cheese. They're taking one hero down after another. The Panda is kicking his way back to safety, but it's a 17 kill lead. There are 17 kills ahead. 43,000 damage for Jaina alone. 28,000 only for Jimmy. And they are just totally getting destroyed. It was a good idea. They had some really nice ideas. They were hoping for the surprise factor as they flew down to the bottom of the map to take down the boss attempt. But it didn't work out for them whatsoever. So now 2 keeps are gone. We're only 11 minutes in. Bottom keep, wall has been attacked and scratched a little bit, but nothing really happening there. Same time, another tribute is spawning. I don't even think that it's going to matter. But yeah, this is nasty. This is really nasty. And for the red team, how do you come back here? I guess they have to wait for level 16 so that they can at least take a team fight. But the blue team hasn't even gone for the bosses yet. They could easily go for a double boss. So that could be it, but they are not doing any of it. They're just trying to go for kills. They're catching the Panda. They are pinning them down in their own base. They are not allowed to leave at all without being forced into a fight. And as long as level 16 talents aren't there, you don't want to take that battle. You're already several levels behind, which means that your base stats are a lot lower, which is a problem to begin with. And then you're also just a talent behind. So yeah, it's just a little bit too much. But either way, another tribute is spawning, and now the first boss is getting claimed here. At least they're trying. So yeah, Jaina is currently on it together with Banana H. It's, by the way, the last lane that has a keep. Just noting it. So, yeah. It's actually working much better than I expected it to. Jaina and Deckard Kane, look at that. Dream Team! Dream Team just going for it. And up at the top, Zeratul is there, Mal'Ganis, they're all going to slow this down. Level 16 is finally ready, and this is going to be the last stand of Scuff Team. This is going to be their last stand. This is the last attempt of them to go for a boss. They have to risk something, they know it. They can't just play it safe all day, every day. Tequasa missing this one. Hanzuka dodging it by not moving. And Tequasa, a little bit sad here. That didn't work for him whatsoever, but the boss at the bottom of the map is now already moving. They ignored the tribute. Yeah, here's Morales. Ring, ding, and goodbye. The Panda might make it. The rest of the team was trying to get out too, though, and it seems that Muradin might be the first one to fall here. The Panda is actually in survivor mode. It seems like he is going to get out of the fight, but the rest of the team, they can't run. They are completely pinned down by them, and Morales gets attacked and dropped. Banana H also falls, though, so both of the supports are now gone. Atanis dies, Zarya dies. It's a bloodbath. It's an absolute bloodbath. Jimmy is still alive. They're going to correct that very quickly, though. He's not gonna make it, but he might get the kill on Dino. Even that doesn't work out for him. The Panda is bot lane trying to defend the keep. Obviously, that's not gonna happen either. With Jimmy dead, that means that Chen is the only one that is still here. The final keep has fallen. Now catapults are already up on the core, and they are going to try and end the game. The boss, yeah, it's not gonna really help them too much. Ultralisk, ooh, that ice block, on point. But he still falls. So does the Panda, though. And that's going to be the end of a Scuffed team on Cursed Hollow. A second victory in a row for Team WoW. So we are headed for the final map in this best of 5 series. And Team WoW has a chance at the full reverse sweep. GG. Well, it comes down to the 5th map, so we're really here. Battlefield of Eternity is map number 5. And whoever takes this one claims victory in the best of 5. So, let's go. Let's see what's also left. Obviously, the pool is pretty limited now when it comes to picks. That's especially true when we're talking about healers. We have, if they're banning healers in particular. So we have Alexstrasza, Ana is still available if I'm not mistaken, Karazim, Lily, and Tyrande. Is Ana available? Was Ana played? I think Ana was played, right? I believe we had her. Did we? I'm getting a little bit confused myself right now. But as I was just about to mention, if they start to target some of these additional supports in the ban phase, then this is gonna get wild. But Tracer has now also been taken out, so she's gone. We got Mephisto, who gets banned. I mean, again, he's obviously one of the best damage dealers that you still have here, so they're getting rid of him right away. And what are we still getting? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, we still have False Up, for example. There's actually so many good heroes that are still available, even on map number 5. Now, Ana gets banned, okay. And what's going to be the first pick for them? Do they go into a support or a tank? I would assume that we're going to see one of the two. Those are the roles that have been attacked the most. Unless they have a key hero here that they want to play. But when it comes to the roles that have been targeted the most, those are the ones. And yes, Varian is the one that gets picked right from the start. And that means that we're very likely going to see a Karazim pick for them, if they can get him. From all the supports that are still available, Karazim probably works the best with Varian. Just because you can use a 7-sided strike after a taunt, because you can dash after that, so that could be a strong pick for them. But we get a Tyrande and Rexa. Alright, so right from the start the healers get targeted. And Rexa now also very strong side data for them, of course, too. A lot of strong picks still available. But we're still seeing some twists here. 100%. And it all comes down to the final map. We always said a reverse sweep is possible for them. Oh, Samuro. Samuro was such a pest when they trolled yesterday, especially in the combination with Abathur. Would they really pick Abathur, though? And I mean, Abathur has been picked in the past on Battlefield of Eternity, but we're talking ages ago. I mean, long time ago. So, is it something where they are willing to go for Abathur and then really just cheese it like crazy in the late game on the macro? I'm not so sure about that. Supports still getting targeted here, and that leaves us with Karazim. I'm actually surprised that Alexstrasza is the one that gets banned out over Karazim, but then again, if you have Rexa, you have with Misha an additional body that would enter the 7-sided strikes. Arthur's gets banned, alright. But yeah, Karazim is pretty much the only one that's available here. And they pick him away, nice! That's one way to deal with it. They ban Alexstrasza and they go for the double support. So yeah, now there's no healers left anymore. This is all the healers gone. So Abathur is the only one that can actually help you at this point. Abathur has at least a bit of sustain, but that was a neat move. Yeah, exactly like this. ETC Rexa and a double support for Scuff team. Okay, so what you gonna do? What is Team WoW gonna do now? No healer left. They're all gone. So what are they gonna do with this now? Illidan and Abathur. Alright guys, game number 5, it's a special one. We got the Abathur and Samuro comp, that is already annoying as hell. And now we have Illidan who could help them with it too. There's no support on the side of Team WoW, they were all taken away. And that leaves us with the final pick of this series. Mindtalk has to decide what he wants to play here. He still has options. I mean, Cassia is up if he wants a blind, just to name one. But yeah, they're going for Cassia. Okay, so here we go. Game number 5. It comes down to the final map in the series. Let's find out who is taking the victory here in Battlefield of Eternity. It's a special one. It definitely is. Ultralisk on Illidan and Banana on Abathur. I mean, that combo alone is already glorious, but we also have Abathur with the symbiote for Dequaza Samuro. And we saw that in action in the first series they played here in Group B of Meta Madness, and it was just absolutely disgusting. Masquerade on Variant, Dainu on Chromie, and on the right side of the map it's Scuff Team with Mr. Tyke on Karazim, Hanzuka on Tyrande. They went for the double support to pick the remaining healers away from the blue team. Mindtalk on ETC, Rexa played by Master Chips, and J-Hard on Cassia. Again, a big shout out to all the people supporting me in the channel on patreon.com/Khaldor. Stuff like this wouldn't be possible without their support. Again, if you enjoy the format, if you would like us to set more tournaments like this up in the future, then check out patreon.com/Khaldor. If you watch it on YouTube, there's also a link in the description that you can check out. Level 1, we got the Way of Illusion, and the pressurized glands now with the Battered Assault. The party at the top is already popping up right here. Misha obviously together in this case with Karazim, and this 2-3 split that we're seeing by Scuff Team is now at the bottom of the map also starting to put some pressure on. Stacks for Cassia. I mean, there's a lot where she can stack on, but this is not an auto win. The entire strategy in the draft, as you could see, was to deny the supports to the blue team. And that worked. Now, Abathur can obviously act as a solo support in some special cases. That has already been proven in the days of HGC. You really have to pick your battles, though, if you're going to do for that particular variation. There's a lot more damage available now for the blue team. They have a lot of damage, and they can really engage into some heavy fights. But it's important for them that these fights are really short and sweet. It needs to be short and punchy. Any prolonged battle where sustain starts to play a bigger role is in favor of Scuff Team. But if it comes down to pure damage output, this is where the blue team excels. And Illidan dying here in the early game, already a good start for the team in red. But let's not forget that Illidan is also a hero that really scales with the late game and becomes also more and more powerful the more structures are removed from the map, simply because the distances are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. So, we already have 6 stacks for Cassia. We need to really watch out for the Samuro cheese that was showcased by Team WoW in one of the earlier matches as well. And at this point, it seems like it's going to be the end of, well, both of the tanks. ETC and Varian are both eliminated. Illidan is already trying to jump around, but as I said, he is going to shine when the distance to safety is going to be a bit bigger when the forts are removed. But there's just fireworks going on all over the place. But again, with 2 supports, there's a lot of sustain here for Scuff Team. The longer these fights last, the better. Now, top side, obviously. Scuff Team is still pressuring this out. And again, they asked for this. They banned the supports out. They made sure there were no supports available for the blue team. So they fully know how they have to play this. It's not a guaranteed win. But if they play their cards smart, then at least they can make it very difficult for the blue team to get ahead here. A lot of toxic nests for Abathur, so he's getting a lot of scouting information and also slows them down a little bit, always dropping them off the mount here. First objective is going to be a bit tricky, I'd say, for the red team. They have the Hunter's Mark of Tyrande, but at the same time, as I said, early on at least, that additional damage, all that on-point damage that we're seeing from the blue team is going to become a problem. And ETC is experiencing that firsthand as he is destroyed right away. Now, Karazim is working on the Immortal, but then again, Cassia gets attacked and gets dropped. This is where you can just see all of those melee heroes completely committing. Now, Karazim still made that a fairly even halftime show. So they're not losing out too much, but the first objective will very likely go over to Team WoW. would be surprised if that's not the case. So, yeah, stun into stun. Goes for the taunt here. And this is a much, much bigger immortal than I expected after the initial success that Karazim had. So that's still half a shield remaining for him. Abathar obviously is also not really part of these fights. I mean, can you always jump in with the symbiote, but he doesn't have his own hit point pool yet. That's only going to come into play when level 10 has been reached and he goes for the ultimate evolution. Then you have those 5 hit point pools in the game. But yeah, the attacks keep coming now. So Illidan and Samuro, they're just driving the pain train time and time again. We have level 7 on both sides with 22 stacks now for Cassia. At least her progress is pretty decent here. But that top lane is suffering. We're talking about progress on the talents. We now have 35 stacks for the level 1 on Samuro, so he's nearly done with it. Masquerade gets a bit isolated, targeted, and dropped. No heals for him. They can't sustain him here. And Ultralisk is also getting chased, but the stun does not connect. And he is likely going to make his way out of the fight. They're even trying to turn it now. So Ultralisk gets the symbiote. One stun connects though, and he's immediately down. Yeah, these targeted attacks with Tyrande connecting a stun and maybe even the Hunter's Mark, they really helped them here. The big problem is, of course, that the top fort has been taken on and destroyed, so this is a real setback for Scuff team. They have maybe taken a few kills and that mitigated some of the damage that was done, at least when we're looking at experience, but losing that fort takes some of that map control that you're looking for away, and it also will allow heroes like Illidan and Samuro later in the game to backdoor your keeps or your core even harder. Both of them are absolute monsters on structures. If you get either Illidan or Samuro onto a core or a keep with Abathar, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna be a lot of damage, so you really have to cover your bases in a situation like that. Now, we're still gonna see what they can pull off in the mid-game when we have level 10 abilities available. Of course, a lot is going to hinge on the damage that Cassia can get out, and she is trying to stack as much as she can. There's a lot that he can stack against here. But yeah, Samuro is already moving around, trying to do his thing. We have 12 stacks for Varian on the level 1. Yeah, and Chrome is all alone at the top lane right now. That's not really going to help them too much. Both teams looking for level 10 abilities for the next objective. Well, that's what's going on there. I mean, Chromie already has hers. Obviously went into the Slowing Sands. They're going up against 2 supports with cleanses. So, yeah, you don't want to go into the temporal loop here unless you really feel comfortable that you only need that ult for the early mid-game, where your opponent doesn't have access to any of those talents yet, because later it's pretty much going to be completely negated. We get the Starfall. The Palm is in, so they're really going for the panic buttons here. And on the other side, as expected, Illusion Master, Ultimate Evolution, super important talents if you are trying to keep some macro options up too. Masquerade gets attacked and killed, and they're really going for the single targets now. This is also where Palm is going to be super important. The Mosh Pit, nice! That was sexy. That was a really, really sexy move here. I like that a lot. As he sees the Metamorphosis, that's what he uses as the trigger for the Mosh Pit. Not trying to get it before, I think. I think he actually perfectly timed that. We're going to have a look at that in just another second. First, we're going to take a look at Chromie, and she's dead as well. Chromie gets slapped, but let's take another look. I think he started the Mosh Pit just as the Metamorphosis comes through. A second earlier, so he was actually not trying to time it around the Metamorphosis, but it worked out extremely well regardless. The two of them using their ult roughly around the same time. Illidan touches back down with more or less full HP, but he gets immediately hammered into the ground. And he completes his level 7, so Illidan is getting a lot more wiggle room here. But with 7 kills to 3, the lead in experience has now been taken by Scuffed team. On the Immortal, though, that's a different picture. So even with the kills that we just saw, the blue team still has taken the halftime show. They're still pulling a little bit ahead there. But you can tell that it is getting a bit tricky for them in these team fights because of the sustain that comes from the 2 healers that we're seeing for the team in red. But on the damage, it's a different story. The shots are still being fired here. Yeah, there's the taunt. ETC was hoping, of course, to get a bit of a hit in. The copy on Chromie is helping them to attack the Immortal from a distance and just fire away, zone them out. Dino's already on the run. Some damage at least. But it's not going to be enough. They find Abathur, but they can't do anything about it. And while all of this pans out, we still have Samuro attacking the Immortal and trying to get them objective number 2, which they should be able to get. Just going full defense the entire time is not going to work out for Scuff Team. They're going to have a little bit more luck with that once that the death timers increase and every single kill matters more. But now it's another objective in favor of the blue team, and it's a big one. Taunt is in. Yeah, and can they get the hit here? There's the party! Ah, look at those moves! Damn, Varian, you little party animal, I had no idea! Those hips, whew! Yeah, he's going full Shakira on us. But he survives through the fight and ETC didn't make it. So things are getting more problematic for Scuff Team. And this hasn't even shown us the Samuro action with Abathur copy that we've seen in the first best of 5 that Team WoW played. So after the top fort got destroyed a bit earlier, now they're going for the bottom of the map and trying to destroy another one. And they claim it. Another fort has been destroyed. The palm doesn't get triggered. They waited it out perfectly. Karazim's ult does not get any value. And Cassia dies. Yep, this is where this game is getting a bit out of control. Kill after kill after kill. The blue team needed to attack early and do their thing, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They have a talent advantage now, despite the 50 stacks that we're seeing for Cassia and all of the damage that she brings to the table. It's Chromie with the top damage, and it is just a massive pain train that is coming towards the core of the red team. The sustain that they have is definitely far better, but they are having huge trouble getting these kills in. Once again, we're having an attempt to take Ultralis down. Illidan still survives. ETC dies instead. The core is already taking damage, and it seems like we're going to have a full reverse sweep by Team WoW as they are going for the core with the help of Samuro and Illidan. This is it. Without a healer, they claim victory and take the best of 5 series. GG.